Companies are increasingly outsourcing their corporate responsibility activities to independent specialist foundations. I'm joined by Jordan OBE, founder of consultancy firm Corporate Citizenship, which has looked into the growth of corporate foundations in the UK in recent years. So, why do you think more companies are looking to set up foundations in the UK recently?
I think there are a number of reasons. One undoubtedly is that corporate foundations tend to be seen to be part of a global business language, as many of our businesses are increasingly operating across the world stage. One aspect of their activities that they can talk about and actually get some resonance on is corporate foundations. So go to most parts of the world and talk about what the activities of a corporate foundation, and you will be understood.
So it's very much a global trend that they're growing. It's not just specific to the UK.
Our research shows that it is a global trend, although our latest research certainly focused on the UK. And we did that for a particular reason, which is that here in the UK we have tended to lead the movement towards greater corporate responsibility, which is seen to be something which is quite integral to the company's behaviour. So one would expect that corporate foundations would become less popular, but in fact our research has shown that that's not the case, that for a number of reasons, one of which I've said, there are more corporate foundations being registered each year here in England and Wales, in fact.
And what are the funding methods for these foundations? Do they tend to be a set fee every year from the parent company, or is it very different?
Oh, it's very different, and it'll come back to why a company has decided to go down that particular route. So it could well be an endowed foundation. It may well be to mark an anniversary, for instance, and a certain amount of money is made over as part of an endowment. But also, and not uncommonly, companies do like to have perhaps a stronger relationship with their foundation through making annual or perhaps biannual payments to a foundation.
What sort of sectors tend to be dominating with corporate foundations, and who are the real pioneers of this model in the UK, for example? Well,
our latest research, this particular report, shows that actually a new entrant on the scene is the retail sector. So some of the more recent registrations for corporate foundations are retail brands, but still in terms of numbers, it's financial services that dominate. And I think that's largely because, in fact, it's financial services that tend to dominate the whole community corporate responsibility area. They are the ones who've had the longest running programs, and they're the ones who actually have led the way financially as well.
What would you say is the motivation of the retail sector?
Well, I think we've seen, and sadly very recently of course, with events in Bangladesh, that you see that the retail industry has got many issues that it is attempting to deal with, which is to provide us with the good quality clothes we want at a price that we feel we can afford at a very competitive market. And if they want to do that, then they need to be able to understand the communities in which they are sourcing those goods and to be able to make a contribution, often to the education of workers or to their families. And so a foundation can be the best way to do that.
Where do you see the model going in years to come? Do you see it continuing to grow?
Well, I mean, if you'd asked me 10 years ago, I certainly would have said no, and definitely not here in the UK. But I have to say, I've had to think twice. And I know from the numbers of clients who come to us saying we're interested in setting up a foundation, that it is likely to continue to grow. However, I would have a word of warning. If any business came to me and said, how can we set up a foundation? I would certainly say to them, what is it you're trying to achieve? Because actually the foundation isn't always the right way to achieve your objectives. It could be that a more integrated approach, i.e. something which is part of the business, is the better way of doing it. And it really will depend upon what a company is trying to achieve.
Jordan, thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you. you.